Hi friends, it's Auden. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Real quick, yes, you may notice that I sound kind of sick. I've been having horrible sinus and allergy issues, so I'm sorry in advance if there's a bunch of cuts because I have to cough, or if my voice sounds a little off. That's why. But today we are going to be decorating 17 Culpepper House in San Myshuno, and we're going to be doing it as like a city apartment. It's kind of not lofted, but we've got these platforms, and this is going to be for the Renaissance sim aspiration. It's supposed to be like a city apartment for a Renaissance sim. So there is so many different like hobbies in this house. It's very similar to my hobby enthusiast home apartment I did a while back, but that one was like bright neon colors. Everything was a different color. This is very neutral and way more calm and cozy of a color scheme. So that's what we're going to be doing today. These windows are from Discover University, and then we're using this like really pretty, like realistic looking wallpaper from Dine Out. And I just think it is the perfect exposed brick, and it was just so perfect in this build to have that brick color. It's my favorite brick color. And then the other wallpaper is just a base game wallpaper. And I think they look really pretty together. But yeah, we're going to be putting as many hobbies in this build as humanly possible for this small space. So there's going to be a bar, which you can see here in the middle of the kitchen. There's a flower press and a computer. There's a TV. There's painting things. There's lots and lots of books so that they can read. There's like a paper craft on the wall that looks like maybe they were doing paper crafting at one point. There is a bunch of different workout equipment like the barbells and the decorative barbells and a yoga mat in the bedroom. There's a woodworking table, an easel, a bonsai tree. There's a bunch of music related items. They have a big kitchen that they can cook in. I did originally, I think, put a coffee pot down in the kitchen, but then I changed it to the candy machine because the candy making is a skill, I believe, and I wanted the appliance in the kitchen to be towards another skill and not just towards a need. They also have everything you would need for a dog. So they have a bathtub, and they have a food bowl and a pet toy bin, and then a bed in the living room. But here you can see we are just kind of moving around the living space as I'm connecting things in my brain I want to do. We get this really pretty kind of window ledge in the living room that we put a bunch of books on, and there's plants all over this space. We get like a fireplace in the corner, which I don't think they actively use. I think it just is a good thing that they can have in this build. Maybe it was like, I don't know. I just don't think they use it. It's kind of like blocked off a little bit, and there's a plant above it, so I don't think they actively use it, but I thought it looked really pretty. But this, you can see over here, is the little corner with a bunch of their book collection on it. Some just various things like a yarn basket and the decorative weight. What are these called? The like decorative weight set goes underneath that window as well. But we get a big TV, and I love this like sectional, the like white with the wood. I thought it looked really city-y. And then later on we do add a bunch of pillows to that couch, and it looks really, really pretty, I think. The dining table is from Cozy Kitsch, and then the dining chairs we end up using, I think, are from Adventure Awaits, and then the dining chair is from, or not the dining chair, one of the chairs at the dining table is a computer chair because we're going to have like a little desk set up there, and that chair is from Crystal Creations. But over here, these cubbies are from High School Years. Sorry, and we're connecting them using some shelves And then it took me a while to pick an item to go underneath the shelves for more storage, but it ends up being an item from the Grange Mudroom kit. And I think that it ends up looking really pretty, but it takes me a minute to get there. Also, that little abacus on the left shelf, we end up replacing with a record player so that they could have music and collect some records, and that could be another hobby. Yeah, I think it looks really, really pretty. Again, I struggled for a minute, but here's the item we end up using, and I think it looks really pretty there, and works out really well. There is a couple of spots that I forgot to clutter up, like the shelf on the wall above the fireplace, and then like the dining table, but I do think that that is either at the end of the build or off camera. I don't really remember. I built this like last week while I was really sick. I'm not like sick, like I'm not like contagious sick. I'm just like congested sick. And I was refraining from doing a voiceover while I sounded like this. But if I keep refraining from doing a voiceover because I sound like this, it's going to be a while before I do one. And I really want to upload. So apologies if the way I sound is obnoxious. But now we are working on this platformed bed space. We use Horse Ranch. I think they're both from Horse Ranch. Or are they from... Oh, they're Adventure Awaits. Okay, it's actually Adventure Awaits spandrels and columns. And then above the bed, we add some shelves, and I think they look really incredibly pretty up there. The bed is from Growing Together. The nightstands are from Love Struck. And then I think the mismatch lamps we get are both from Base Game. But I might be wrong. I think one of them is Get Famous. Is the other one Base Game? No, the other one's Discover University. Never mind. They look like they would both be in the same pack, which is why I got confused. But the really pretty Monstera is from one of the two recent packs, kits. I think it's Modern Retreat kit. I do want to quickly make a note that yes, I am aware of the SpongeBob, I'm going to call it the kits that must not be named. I will not be purchasing those or making any content with those. One, I hate SpongeBob to begin with. Very strongly dislike SpongeBob. Two, it's just insane to me that that is a choice that they are currently making. So I made a tweet about it over on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. I call it Twitter. And if you want more information, just go watch Cindy's video. I will not be purchasing them. I will not be giving my money to such a stupid, idiotic idea. But back to positivity, which is what I try to do here, is mostly positive stuff, but I just very strongly dislike this decision they've made. But anyway, these curtains are from Modern Luxe, and we're going to be mixing in the kind of beaded curtains that come from Love Struck into the bedroom curtain ones, and then on all the other windows we add just the beaded curtains. And I think that the combination, it just looks really pretty, and I was really happy with that. But it did take me a minute to get there, to get to that point. But we do get there in the end, and I think it looks really pretty. Also, another hobby that I end up adding it's not really a thing they can do actually in the game, but I wanted to make it look like they were really into doing their makeup. And so they have like a little makeshift vanity in their bedroom by the dresser, but we'll get back over there in a minute. Currently, we are just scrolling through the wall decor and adding items as I see fit. There's... I wanted to add this somewhere. It ends up going above the TV with some hanging wall lights next to it, but I do forget to change the swatch on that leaning painting for a while, but I do change it eventually. But now it looks like we're kind of messing around in the front entryway, and then now we're in the kitchen. Why was I moving around so much? I guess I just kept finding things, and so I would like move into that space while I was thinking about it. So now we're kind of decorating the kitchen. Again, I put down a coffee maker, but later I will change it to the candy machine because I think the candy machine gives you an actual... Does it not have a candy skill, or is it just cooking skill? Either way, it's a skill. It might just be cooking skill, though, I think. I don't think there's a candy making skill. But it's a skill. And so I thought that that made more sense than a coffee pot, because in the game, the coffee pot's not really gonna give you a skill, but the candy maker will give you a skill. So that was kind of my thought process behind that. I do really like this kitchen. I think it is very well planned in the builder aspect. Like the L shape, the sink being under the window. There's lots of wall space. And then we end up getting like a shelf on the wall that the fridge is against, this big blank wall. There ends up being aprons with a shelf above it with more books. I figured that they were using them as like cookbooks. And then there's like a painting above it and some limes, and it's just really cute. And I was really having fun in this build, if you can't tell, with open shelving. I thought it really felt city-y, I guess, is not really a word, but that's kind of like where my brain is thinking. There's also pulling out the color from the wallpaper. I was kind of adding bits of pink throughout the build, kind of this like pinky red that's in the brick wallpaper, and I was pulling that out and adding it in little bits throughout the apartment. So the little rug, the swatch of the bar, the rug in the living room, and I thought it was just really pretty, and I was really happy with the way it looked. We also get a video game console. I think I've already placed it down right there next to that plant beside the TV, because it didn't really fit on the TV stand. But now we're going to work on this little platform. This is going to be the little art platform. So they have a woodworking bench from... What is that one from? Is that the Artist Studio kit? Yes. And then just a base game easel. Sorry, I just sneezed. A base game easel, and then just some decor from the Artist Studio kit. And then a bonsai tree, a guitar, and a violin. So just... If there's a hobby that I could fit in this build, I fit it in this build. I thought it was really just a fun way to fill up a city apartment, because I feel like if you live in the city, especially like New York or something, you have these like tiny apartments and you have to really maximize the space because they're so small. And so that's really what I was trying to convey, is that maybe they lived in a bigger space before, or maybe they're just trying to maximize the space in this small unit. And so they're just putting a hobby in every corner they can possibly fit one in. There's gonna be one. And I was having fun with that concept. And I think that adding the new weights that we got really was the best way to fit the athletic skill in this build, because there was not space for like a punching bag or a treadmill. There was just not enough space for that. So I was really excited that we have those weights now. But now we have moved back over into the bedroom again, and we are working on this little makeup spot that I mentioned. So there's like a standing mirror from base game with the Snowy Escape ottoman, and then we add these shelves that we've been using everywhere over here in this corner, kind of following the shape of the wall. And we put a plant and a bunch of different makeup items up on this, and then a couple things under it, and it just looks really pretty, I think. And I was really happy with the way it looks. I am seeing now that I've used the two items that have the same makeup clutter in it, the same little vase from high school years, but I think that's okay. I think it looks really pretty anyway, so... And then we just kind of add some clutter on top of the dressers as well, and just kind of fit in a bunch of stuff in here. They get some sketchbooks and magazines and a little mini bonsai tree and this little mirror magazine. This little otter magazine, because I've never used any of those magazines anywhere, and I thought it looked really cute. And maybe they work for a magazine, and that's why there's magazines all over the apartment, and maybe that was an issue they're really proud of, that they wrote a story about otters or something. The tiny little makeup bag is from Modern Luxe. I always forget about that item, and I thought it fit really well over here, and it looked really pretty with like the little lipsticks. And then over on the other wall, we have a little hamper and a little kind of towel blanket holder, and then just some clothes and a ladder shelf decor item. And now we're just working on this little hallway. We end up with the burglar alarm later above the food container. And I thought that was a cool place, not cool place, but a good place to put it. And then I thought that the bike from, I think it's the Businesses and Hobbies bike. Yeah, it is. I thought it fit really well in here, and I thought that living in the city, having a bike by your front door was really realistic, so I was really happy with that choice. But now we are on into the bathroom, and then we will be heading into the end of the build, and I will show you the tour. I still have no idea how I'm going to upload this to the gallery, because there's platforms. Normally, I would mark out the platforms with the height of the wall, like, the half wall height with it and make it work that way, but I don't quite know how I'm going to do that yet. I'll have to figure that out in a second. But this is just the bathroom, just the same kind of a sink cabinet issue we had, not issue, but deal we had in the other room. We end up using some open shelves in this room as well above the toilet with the, what is that from the bathroom, sleek bathroom kit wall behind the toilet, and then just the shower and the little cubby, and then we clutter up these shelves. But yeah, we are coming to the end of the build. I'm going to show you the tour in just a second. If you want to download this, it might be on the gallery under AudynRo, AudynRo. If you have any ideas for any builds you'd like to see, or any combination of packs you'd like to see a limited pack build of, please let me know. I would love to hear your input. I'd also love to hear what you have to say about the SpongeBob thing, because, like, even without the horrid idea of this EA sale, I would still be annoyed by the SpongeBob thing. Like, even if they weren't doing this sale thing, I would still be upset about it. So, let's go hop in to the tour now that we're done with the build. Okay, so I did try to put this on the gallery, but when I tried to make this wall not a wall so that the whole space was one room, it deleted a bunch of my stuff. So I'm not going to put it on the gallery right now. Hopefully I can find the time to do that and put it on the gallery. But this is the build. So this is the living room that I was showing you earlier. I think it's so pretty. Sorry if you could hear my keys moving. But I thought it was so... I think it's so pretty here. I think that I just like it a lot. Here is the kitchen with all the little decorations and the candy machine. And then here is the little decorated desk space for them to do their work at. Here's this direction of the living room. I need to paint the ceiling. This is also really pretty. Here's this little cluttered area over here. I love this little corner. I think it's so pretty. Here's this little spot. Here's the little study space. Not study space, craft space. With all the stuff you need to do stuff. There's a vacuum here I don't remember adding. Here is this really pretty little starting hallway that you walk in. Entryway, not starting. I was looking for the word entryway. I think it's so pretty in here. And then you come up these steps into the bedroom. Here's the little jewelry and makeup section. Oh, it's so pretty in here. Here's the bedroom at this angle. I also love that so much. It's just so cozy and pretty in here. Look at this angle. That's also really cool. And then over here is the bathroom. There's all your toilet paper that you might need. And a little sink area. So here is the top-down floor plan. If you would like to kind of do the same floor plan. This area here is up on one platform. this is up on 2, and then this is up on 1, and everything else is on the base floor. So I hope that you like this build and this apartment. If you have any ideas, please leave them down below. I love you guys so much. I'm sorry again for the sick voice. I just really wanted to upload, so I hope that that's okay. I love you so much, and I will see you in the next build. Bye, friends!